Good evening, Fernwood. It is your mostly teetotaling chum Neil here, and it's time for us to take a brief repast with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 168 from November 24th, 1976. It's real close to Thanksgiving, so I don't know what's going to happen. Let's recap. Yesterday, Martha continued mooning over the mysterious disappearance of George as HB arrives to show Martha the ropes when it comes to shooting police training videos. Mary pops in the middle, gets the wrong idea about what is happening, and then shares some time connecting to her new father figure. Next door, Loretta and Charlie are sharing a last kiss before Charlie goes off for his transplant. Jody pours himself into the room with the news that there are more songs to sing, which mean more opportunity for Loretta's fame to grow. He says that he will keep an eye on Loretta, and Charlie suggests keeping only one eye, and Loretta leaves singing that song about leaving half a man and coming back a whole one. And then there's an impromptu date night with the Gimbels and the Hartmans at the Capri Lounge as they celebrate Tom's acceptance into the Chamber of Commerce. Merle shows up and congratulates Tom and then introduces his date, Annie Wiley. Garth urges Tom to have a drink, and Annie backs him up in ordering a Diet Pepsi. Then Tom asks for congratulations because he and Mary are planning to have a new baby, and that is when Mary reveals that the plan was actually to adopt Kathy's baby when it is born. That's all the recap I've got for you, everybody. Let's start watching Wednesday.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman! You were wonderful last night.
What do you mean? We just went to sleep.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean the way we could just come home and go to sleep without you even speaking to me after what I said at the Capri.
Boy, I felt like such an idiot. I mean, in front of all our friends, telling them that Kathy was having our baby.
I know. I tried to tell you the night before in bed. Honestly, I did. But your mind seemed to be on something else. So I just tried to wait, for a more graceful opportunity, like in a crowd.
You know what my mind was on? My mind was on making our own baby, sweetheart.
Oh, Tom, really? Is that what you were thinking? Is that why you were so wonderfully determined? I mean, not that you're not always wonderful.
Yeah, that was why. We could have made a terrific baby that night.
If we had a microwave oven...
Huh?
We'd have been done eating by now.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. My mind must have wandered. I'm sorry. Tom, Kathy's baby is gonna be terrific for us. It'll be, and I promise you, Tom, it will not be a promiscuous baby. I mean, it's like Garth and Pat and Merle and everybody said.
Yeah. Well, I just felt like a fool.
But you didn't act like one.
Yeah, but I was so damn surprised.
And disappointed, but so strong. I mean, even when Garth kept urging you to drown your sorrows. Tom, I was so proud of you, I could have cried.
Morning. What's for breakfast?
For you, Rice Krispies.
But I'm not such a natural.
That is natural. It's 100% natural Rice Krispies. Just eat them. Your father and I have something that we're discussing.
Mary, you're very nervous. You're getting very nervous.
I'm anxious, Tom. I'm anxious. I just don't know how you're going to react after your reaction last night.
I don't want to talk about it, okay?
But you said that you wanted to have another child.
Oh, you can have another kid? Terrific.
Well, actually, we were thinking of having Kathy's baby.
Sweetheart, your mother was thinking about adopting Kathy's baby.
That's even better. You know, Trudy's mother, she was a real drag when she was pregnant. It was a mistake, and they were going to sue the pill company. This way, at least we get a baby, and you don't have to spend 9 months throwing up.
Heather, you are so grown up. Will you look at how smart and how grown up she is? We must be doing something very right, and we should keep at it. And we could do even better if I don't have to be all tired and worn out, right after the baby is born. And another thing, Tom, we won't have to miss out on anything for that last 6 weeks. What I mean is I'll be able to get plenty of sleep, and rest. Stretch marks. And Tom, if after that time you still want another baby when we already have 2, which I think is plenty, we'll worry about it then.
Well,
And if I had a baby at 16, they could be just like brother and sister.
Heather, will you stop sounding like you're ready to leave home and get married, will you?
Who said anything about getting married? Hey, maybe if I practice at home, I wouldn't have to take those dumb classes at school.
See? All sorts of benefits. It would be like a refresher course for me, an introductory course for Heather. I mean, Tom, this will just bring us even closer.
Okay, so you two want to take Kathy's baby, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I do.
Okay. Well, it's all right with me. But, Mary, you've got to figure out what's going to happen after that baby is born. Now, if we're going to take that child, I want it to be ours.
Tom, don't worry. I will take care of everything. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, little Heather.
Okay. But, all right, if you two want it, huh?
Yippee! This is even better than a 10-speed bike. Of course, both would be great.
Your old bike is fine. By the way, maybe later after school, we could talk about some of the physical stuff you brought up about having a baby at 16.
I hope it's a boy.
What's wrong with girls?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with girls, except boys are fine, too, aren't they?
Some are.
Heather said we'll talk right after school.
No, you're beginning to sound like you like that idea.
Yeah, you know what? It's beginning to grow on me.
Really? Well, then I will go and speak to Kathy. I will take care of everything. I just can't wait to tell her the good news. Now, I really do think you two have to be... I'm sorry, sweetheart. I think you should get going now. I think you're really behind schedule because of the, talk that we had. Have good days, and I will go and I'll tell Kathy. I mean, I'll ask Kathy. I mean, I'll talk to Kathy. Yeah, that's it. We'll talk.
How about some juice?
Oh, Lord. I succumb to the desires of the flesh again.
Oh, Lord, wasn't it wonderful?
You're not going to judge me my lascivious ways, huh?
I told you. I thought you were wonderful.
You just don't understand, Annie. I'm a sinner. I don't know how a good, decent woman like you can even bear to be with me in my shame. My whole life is just one continuous strain.
Look, you didn't do anything terrible to me, and I don't think I did anything terrible to you. So you have no need to apologize to anyone for anything. We had a pleasant night, period. Let's just leave it at that, okay?
Annie, are you a Christian at all, or?
First Presbyterian Bible class till the age of 8, when I told my mother I'd prefer tap lessons.
Well, then I guess I'll have to relate my sleazy, slimy details of my lustful past.
Well, not unless it has a tap number in it.
Lord, woman, I mean, what kind of Jezebel are you? What?
One who had a lovely evening instead of a lonely night with a very attractive man, who I hope can say the same. Now, how about some unsweetened grapefruit juice? You can suffer while you drink.
I have a feeling you're making a little joke there, but I just happen to be partial to grapefruit, so...
Break a 1-9 for tippy toes. This is Big Honey. You got your ears on, darling?
Oh, Merle, that's for me. Would you get it, please?
I'm not... How do you do this thing?
Oh, just key the mic and punch it to talk.
Punch this?
Punch the button to talk, yeah.
Howdy, this is Merle Jeter for Tippy Toes. She's busy right now. Can I take a message? Over.
Oh, hi there, Merle. My handle's Big Honey, and I do love to hear an X-rated male voice.
Well, thank you very much, but actually I'm kind of on a repenting kick this AM. Over.
Look, sweetheart, could you please tell Tippy Toes that I just picked up a 10-5 from Route 32? There's a four-wheeler out of Shakytown at mile marker 26, and there's an ulce of ruin.
Will do. Over.
Thanks, love. You're a sweetheart. Look forward to modulating with you again.
Hey, same to you there. I hope it won't be too long either.
10-4.
10-4 back at you.
Very good.
That's some kind of thing you got there. That woman's voice, that's kind of what you call a provocative type of voice. And is that just a radio talk, or does everybody sound like that?
Sexy?
Yeah.
Oh, I think she does have kind of a unique sound.
Unique? God, I know a lot of guys that dream about voices like that coming at them in the night, you know what I mean? Not me, mind you, but that's something.
Well, of course not you. But if you would like to meet the woman who goes with that voice, I could try and fix you up.
Tippy Toes, hi.
How are you?
Hey, Thomas. Four and a thumb there, pard. How are you?
Huh?
Well, listen, I got a split party, as we used to say in the Army. I'll see you later. I'll call you later, okay?
Oh, nice to see you. How about some unsweetened grapefruit juice? Merle hardly touched his.
Listen, sorry, I didn't mean to barge in and break up your, I just stopped by to say thank you for last night.
Oh, well, you're welcome. What did I do for you last night?
I don't mean anything like that. I don't mean that. I mean, just for help me not to get drunk, you know?
Now, you know I'm always glad to do that. I was happy to do it.
Breakup line for steamer? You got a copy on this, Big Honey?
What's that?
Oh, that's just CB. Listen, did you and Mary sort of sort things out last night?
Yeah. You know what we decided to do? We have decided to adopt Kathy's baby.
It was so hot here last night, I thought the automatic sprinklers would go on. You read me?
Who's she talking to?
I don't know. Sometimes we're only in a range to get half a conversation.
Yeah.
Tom?
What?
Is something disturbing you?
Well, I'm a little thrown. I got to admit that. I'm a little thrown finding Merle here. I mean...
Are you jealous? Because Merle is definitely not a buddy.
Well, he was wearing that same tie he wore last night, wasn't he?
Well, he would hardly have a chance to change. Merle spent the night here.
Oh. Well, I guess that's none of my business, huh?
Well, of course it is. We're buddies.
Yeah, well, you know, it just kind of surprises me, Tippy. I mean, I just didn't think Merle Jeters was your type.
Well, in that case, I guess I'll just have to read myself to sleep with funny books. Till we do it again. This is Big Honey. 10-10. And on the side.
What does she mean, funny books?
Oh, that's CB talk for X-rated reading material.
Wow. She's got some voice, that woman, doesn't she?
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus.
Yeah.
I've shocked you, haven't I, Tom?
Well,
Let me ask you a question. What does it mean to you to be a buddy?
well, you know, a pal. Someone who's there when you need him, or her, or she needs you.
Good. Because for a second there, I was getting a little worried. I thought you might think it was just someone that you watched Monday Night Football with. You do have other buddies, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
And if you were to walk in on one of them, and they were with someone that they had spent the night with, would you be shocked?
but with the guys, I mean...
But you see, that's just my point. I want you to think of me as one of the guys. Now, does that make any sense to you?
Well, sure. It's just that I'm having a little trouble getting used to the idea that a good woman, wants to do it, just for
fun, instead of falling in love and making promises.
Yeah, I know. A man can be with a woman and it doesn't have to mean anything. I mean, for him.
No more romantic than a sneeze, right?
Well, maybe a little more romantic than that, but I just thought for a woman it had to be a lot more romantic.
Not necessarily. Sometimes a woman is in the mood for romance. Sometimes she's just in the mood to spend the night with someone. Love has different degrees, and so does sex. And they don't always have to go together.
Boy, that's hard to believe. Well, you must not have been too particular last. Let me tell you something, okay? I mean, as a buddy. Now, Merle. This is nothing personal. But you just watch out for Merle Jeter, huh? I mean, he will chase after anything in a skirt, and I mean anything.
Well, Ms. Hartman, here we are. But it would appear Kathy isn't at the moment.
You mean she's allowed to leave her room?
Of course she is. As long as the light's green.
Is that a jet-set expression?
Not that I know of. I got it from my mother when she taught me how to cross the street.
But are you one of the beautiful people?
I beg your pardon?
I mean, do you know Truman Capote and Princess Radswell? I mean, I guess she still is a princess even though she's divorced. But maybe not.
No.
No.
No, I don't know either one of them. Do you?
No. I know Gore Vidal.
Oh, you do? Well, what's he like?
Well, much slimmer than he thinks he looks, and terrifically youthful for a man who goes back almost as far as Nixon. Could I ask you a question?
Of course.
How can you
How can I what?
buy a baby?
Well, that isn't a very subtle question, Mrs. Hartman, but I'll give you a subtle answer.
I mean, it is really so low, especially for an Ivy Leaguer.
All it took, Ms. Hartman, was your sister's agreement and a very small dip into capital. Everything's signed and sealed. All we're waiting for is delivery.
That is despicable. I mean, you are talking about my sister and her baby is that they were swatches of furniture that you just ordered.
Isn't that Kathy's decision to make?
Well, yes, that is, and I really would like to see her, and I would just like to know, where is she? Where are you keeping her? Where is she?
I'll check. Hello, Miss Danvers. Have you seen Miss Shumway? She has... Never mind. Here she is now. Hi, Kath. You have a visitor.
Oh, Kathy, how are you? Oh, you look so pale and so wan. Have they been starving you?
Mary, I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, Kathy. Kathy. Kathy.
Well, I guess I'll just leave you two alone. I'll see you for lunch, Kathy. Are you staying, Miss Hartman?
Well, I wouldn't count on either of us, but chicken salad will be fine.
Kath, why don't you call Mrs. Danvers when you two have decided on your plans?
Fine, Brian. Thank you. I'll see you later.
Okay, now we're alone, and you can tell me the truth. How are you? You look so pale and so wan.
I'm fine, really.
Okay, you don't look pale and you don't look wan. You do look terrific. But you do look different.
Of course, I'm pregnant.
Is the room bugged? Is that the problem? I mean, because we could use a pad or sign language or something.
What are you talking about? Who should bug the room?
Okay, don't tell me. They're drugging you. I know it. I'll tell you, we're going to have you out of here in no time, and we'll have your system cleared out by Dr. Furman. It'll take nothing. Oh, it's going to be nothing. You'll be fine in just a little while. Just tell me one thing. Are we going to have a hard time getting past the butler?
Mary, you're not making any sense. Look, no one is forcing me here, and nobody's holding me to do anything.
Except giving your baby up to total strangers.
Look, Mary, we have been all through this, and I really don't want to discuss it.
Kathy, I have a new solution. Now, it may not be a $20,000 solution, but it's a solution. Tom and I have decided to adopt the baby ourselves.
You've what?
I knew you'd be excited. Now, think of it this way. You are not losing a child. You are gaining a nephew.
Or niece.
That's right. Is that wonderful?
Yeah, Mary, but...
No buts. And if there's any problem at all, we have already gotten Detective Johnson involved in this. He is going to investigate their non-floating debentures. I was watching educational television one day and that's where I learned the word.
Look, Mary, please don't bring the police into this. And no offense, but could you stay out of this, too?
Kathy? How can I stay out of this? I'm the one who's going to adopt the baby. Heather is so excited, and so is Tom.
Look, if you and Heather and Tom want a baby, why don't you have one of your own? Or maybe you could buy one.
Oh, you see, that's not funny. They're doing something to you. They are doing something to you. What are they feeding you?
Oh, well, we've been having quiche and caviar and oysters.
Raw oysters.
Oh, they're scrumptious. Maybe we can have some for lunch.
I knew it. I know it, Kathy. I have read all about the mysterious powers of raw oysters. You know what they're doing? They're getting to you through your diet.
Mary, believe me, nobody's getting to me through anything. They couldn't be nicer. Look, Mary, I want to thank you and Tom for thinking about me and the baby. I'm grateful, really. But as long as I'm here and for the rest of the baby's life, this is a better home. Any child that grows up here won't have to waste time writing to magazines or advice columns. It'll be better. Look, Brian and Christine have everything here, and they know all the answers. Let me get that. Hello? Hold on. Mary, you want to stay for lunch?
What are you having?
What are we having? Soup and salad.
Well, what could they do to soup and salad? All right, but only if it's Campbell's. And no wine, because it is very easy to disguise poison, the flavor of poison in wine. And Kathy, I don't want you signing anything that looks like an insurance policy.
Look, do you want a Bloody Mary with that?
A Bloody Mary? A Bloody Mary? Kathy, you know how I feel about that expression. How can you? I'm not staying for lunch. I'm sorry, but I really have to go now. I'm not staying. Goodbye, Kathy. A Bloody Mary.
So yeah, there's our middle of the week. And just the aftermath of date night last night with that very awkward reveal with Tom finally understanding what Mary was talking about. I can understand why Tom would be disappointed in this case. And as I said yesterday, Mary buried the lead. But then Heather shows up and gets excited about it as an idea. That puts Tom on board, and that's nice. I mean, what happens later isn't so nice, but it's good that the family, the Hartmans at least, are on board with this idea. Speaking of on board, Merle is in Annie's trailer, which of course I shouldn't judge for, but I did feel mildly scandalized. Even in this 21st century day, I realize I still have judgments, but I shouldn't. And that's the point of that. Tom comes in, and he has his immediate reaction, which seems like jealousy, and might be jealousy, but also is just the discovering of a man in Annie's space. We shouldn't judge Annie. I think Annie sets up the case so well. And, you know, for one of the elder characters in the show, remember, she's the age of Martha. She has the most modern sensibility, and that I appreciate. Her point of view is really cool. She doesn't have a want just yet. You know, I think she's sort of willing to float down the river, so to speak, but I think that it's really cool how she presents her point of view and lives it. We see Mary in the Addams residence and Kathy's space, which, you know, seems a bit childlike, but who knows? I don't know what Kathy lived like before this, and this is our first time knowing what Kathy lives like, but she's happy now, which, you know, wasn't clear in her previous meetings with the Addamses, with Christine and Brian. It seemed like somewhat uncomfortable, and Mary comes in thinking full on like kidnapping, like that's what was happening to Kathy, and Kathy doesn't feel the way that she seemed to feel earlier, and suggests that letting the Addamses have the baby is the right idea. And it might be. You know? They are wealthy. I think the scheme is a bit questionable. The scheme for the Addamses to earn millions is a bit questionable, but if they are a loving family, it's great. Now, my understanding of wealth, which I have very little or none, is that being wealthy doesn't mean you have no problems. It just means you have different problems. But from a poor person in a TV show's point of view, that might not be the case. You know, at least you don't have money problem. Mary leaves the room when she hears the phrase Bloody Mary for the name of the drink, and I can only imagine Mary thinking of herself bloodied, like wearing the crimson mask, as they say in wrestling, and just running away in fear. And I don't know what that's going to mean for her point of view, because she already seems pretty scared of the Addamses as it is. But that's something that we're going to have to uncover as we go. So, everyone, thank you so much for watching the episode with me and doing what you do, as we say. Let's put a pin in it today. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.